I'm pruning trained soft fruit today on Pots and Trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and King Seeds. Now is a great time to prune these trained soft fruit plants that grow on what we call rods or canes like this. Things like blackberries, tayberries, loganberries, and all the other many hybrid berries that have delicious fruits in the sort of second part of the summer. And they work really well against fences and walls like this, because if you don't train them, they just become a huge tangled mass. Just think of wild blackberries growing in a hedgerow. You've got that tangled mass, really difficult to get to the fruit, and that would happen with this. So we have to do an annual pruning with them, and these are trained out horizontally on wires against the wall. It could be a fence or a trellis or freestanding, and what we do is we tie in the growth that will fruit and flower this coming season. So if we look here, these are the stems that were tied in last year at this time, and these have all had the fruit on. We can see the remnants of all the old fruit stalks here. So once they've fruited, they don't fruit again. But what the plant does do at the same time is make really long, strong new growth like this, which has just been left to grow along the floor, and this will flower and fruit for us this coming summer. So that's what we want to keep, but we need to get rid of this old wood here that has already fruited. Now, I prefer to do it at this time of the year in the winter because the leaves have fallen off. You can see the framework. It's a bit cold to do it, mind, but you can see exactly what you're doing. Another way to do it is after the fruit's been picked in late summer, but then you've got so much foliage, I find it quite difficult. So if you haven't already done it in the summer, now is the time to do it ahead of the growing season. So the very first thing to do is to get rid of all of these old stems. And these have been tied on with some soft string. So it's just a case of getting your knife or your snips and just cutting through all this string so we can take them off the wires like that. And then what we need to do is then trace that one back right the way down to ground level. So that's the one that I've been snipping. Looks like there's a piece of string there holding it, so we'll just get rid of that as well. Right the way down to there, and we can see all the stumps where they've been cut out previously, and cut that one down to ground level. And you can tell the difference straight away. Look, the difference between this old one and a new one there. They look nice and youthful and firm. This one is getting old and woody. So we are essentially cutting out all the old, and then that one can just be taken out, and it might just need cutting out in a couple of places to get rid of it, and then I can carry on and take all of these off. So my job for the next 10 minutes is, while you go and put the kettle on, is for me to get rid of all this old growth off the wall and cut it down to ground level. So as you can see, we've cleared all the old wood that's fruited off the wall, got rid of that, and we've now got these really, really long new growths, and some of these are probably 7-8 meters long, so really, really long. So we've just tried to sort of sort them out and get them into a bit of an order. Some have been quite difficult to get out, because what happens is, and this is what happens with all this type of fruit, it's what they call tip layering. So the long shoots grow. Blackberries, loganberries, tayberries all do exactly the same. They produce this long new shoot through the summer, and then what it does, it touches the ground and it almost buries the tip of the shoot in the soil. It roots, as you can see here, and then there we've got the new shoot that will then grow in the spring and form another long growth, and left to their own devices, they would just literally take over. But it's a great way if you want a new plant for free. So literally we can cut that off there, plant that, and that is your new loganberry, identical to its parent. This one belongs to that one just there, so I'm just going to pop that one down. So what we've got to do now is we've got our wires here, We've already got a couple of the new growths that have grown behind the wire, so they're going to be really difficult to get out. So I'm going to leave them in place and they can be trained in. And then it's just a case of then taking these and fanning them out along the wires. So I'm going to have to take my gloves off for this. Fortunately, this one isn't thorny. Some of them are quite prickly. This one is thornless, which makes life so much easier. And what we're essentially going to do, I'm just looking at roughly how many we've got, and that one is pretty much in the center anyway. So that one is then just going to be tied to the wire with some soft string. It only has to last the season. So little tip is loop it twice around the wire and then it doesn't slip, and then just do a knot to hold it in place like that. Cut that off and we can arch that over to where it's almost doing it on its own. So take that to there. I'm just going to pull that stem out before I do that. So that one then can be, again, loop it round an extra time around the straining wire to stop it slipping. And then we can pull that tight back into place. And then cut that, get rid of it, and then work away along, just bring that across, arch it over, and tie that one maybe down to there. So the idea is we're just going to fan these out over the wall. Now, if we've got more stems than we need, we can tie a double to it. That doesn't really matter, but we can always take any surplus ones out, and then that one can just continue along here like this and tie that one onto there and trim it. And then once you get to the end of the wire where you want them to stop, because some of them are much too long, and this one is going to grow through into this climbing rose, what I can do is just take the tip out there. So take that out. So that one is now secured, and it's basically all these buds on these horizontal stems all along there that will then produce a small side shoot, and that will then flower and fruit for us next year. And again, if you've got too many, we've got a double there, we don't really need that one, so again we can take that one out, and that's given us some fruiting stems there. So it's then simply a case of then getting another one like this one here, and then we're going to do the next wire down, just pull that one round, and that one will become that one there, and then we'll take some that way. So we're fanning them out. You may have more stems than you've got wires. You can double them up if you want to. Some people do them in a serpentine if they're more flexible. These aren't, and they weave them up and down, but I'm just going to go for a simple fan, tying them in. If they're thin ones, I'll double them up, but maybe just keep them nice straight ones. So that one can go straight away. So let's get the string and start the process off again. Right, so I've got 4 on these wires fanning out that way. So then what we've got to do now is select for this side. We're going to finish up with some spares, which we will cut out at the end. So it's finding one that's nice and long and flexible, which I think is that one there I'm going to take. So what I'll do now is tie that one in, and we can start these 4 on this side. Right, so that's our 8 stems tied in now, 4 either way, fanned out. Sometimes you have to jiggle a little bit to get them in place. They don't always go exactly where you want them, but as you can see, we've fanned them out there. I've done a single stem. There wouldn't have been enough to do 2 anyway. Some of them are sort of branched, which is fine, but I think the benefit of doing 1 main stem per wire is it gives it room to grow, because this is going to fill with flowers and foliage and berries on there anyway. If you do too many and try to be greedy, what happens is they can get very congested, and then you get more problem with fruit rots because of the moisture. So I'm taking them equal. There's another one to come the other way, so I'm doing them about halfway. So as we can see here, that one's a little bit long, so just prune it back to a bud. Always good practice roughly down here, so we can just trim those off like that, and the same here. So that gives us our break. So obviously they're then going to be put on the bonfire. And then we've got some spares here because there were more than 8 stems. So we've tied 8 in. So what I've done, I've just done a bit of a tidy up and cut all the stumpy bits off there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that aren't needed. So they are going to be cut out completely. So we can cut those back down to there. Like that. Make sure, of course, you cut the right one. So that is that one. I don't want to cut one off that we've tied in. And always leave these until the very end. I've known people that have thought we need 8, select 8, cut the rest out, and then something happens, one of them snaps. So now they're tied in and secure, we know that these are all surplus to requirements and we can get rid of those. So that is it really now. I've obviously got to tidy up around the base, but we've got our growth in there. It looks nice and formal against the wall, neat and tidy. Nothing's going to blow around for the rest of the winter, and then in spring everything will burst to life and we should get a really bumper crop off that. And then of course next year it's exactly the same because more will grow from the base. They will be taken off after fruiting and the new ones tied in. So, and you can do this, as I say, with blackberries, loganberries, tayberries, and all the hybrid berries that lend themselves perfectly to being trained this way. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember all the videos that we've done and our weekly podcasts can be found on YouTube, where you can subscribe for free. We'll be back again with you next week, so we'll see you then. Bye.